How we doing? Check, check. Doing the Paranoid Android post-recording interview.
So you've been in a band for how long without ever doing a cover?
About 8 or 9 years. We've kind of hinted at songs and solo sections.
I played like Somewhere Over the Rainbow and like Beatles things and what else? I've done sorts of weird things, and John's done like Tom Sawyer and a Pantera song.
In the very early days, we did like a little bit of like a Tool song and stuff like that, but never did a cover front to back.
We've done like snippets of things in songs, but never like all the way through. This is our first cover by like a band. We do traditional tunes. Like every album has at least one traditional tune that we didn't write. Those are songs either that are like by a modern person writing in a traditional style, or songs that are just old and don't have like an author.
For a long time, we didn't want to do anything, any covers. A lot of bands do it, and we just always felt it wasn't our thing. We're so about writing original music and bringing it to life. But
our manager's been trying to get us to do covers for a really long time.
And I guess the band wasn't really into it because I wanted to keep everything original.
He's been right about it. It's not a question of that. It's just like, I didn't want to do that. I like playing stuff, that's our tunes and stuff. And I think we have a lot of songs. We write a lot of stuff. So it takes us a long time to learn our songs, but we have a lot of songs, So to cut out one of ours to play someone else, I was always against.
The cover topic came up again. And one day we were talking about it.
we were thinking, like, if we were to do a cover, what could we possibly do? And we're all huge Radiohead fans.
I said, how about, just do Paranoid Android if we're going to do Radiohead? That's the one. And everyone said, yeah, that's the one.
We all kind of had this like light bulb moment, like, yeah, this is perfect.
This is a great song.
It's one of the best rock pop songs ever written.
To call it a pop song it's a stretch. It has no real chorus. It has like parts in 7.
It's a very like kind of epic song. It has a lot of dips and valleys and scene changes.
Interesting harmonies. It's like a 3-part sort of 2.5-part movement-y thing.
Very comparable to the kind of stuff that we do when we write music. It's very much in that same vein. We decided, let's give it a shot.
Before we started working on it, we just listened to it a few times and, away from the instruments in the van, driving places.
Getting started with it was a little bit of a problem.
I mean, it was hard to get started. Like, I'll admit, I definitely kicked my feet on it and dragged my heels a little bit going into it.
When we started working on it, we did a lot of back and forth trying things out, of course, but ideas constantly back and forth. There was a lot of the writing, and when you're writing it, we're also kind of in the middle of rehearsing it.
It started to become a thing where there was more than just a couple ideas. It started to become a full idea and a full song, and then from then on we just got to refine it.
After the first rehearsal, John started slapping the riff, and I started just trying to play the melody, and it started to be like, okay, this is gonna be really fun.
Well, I remember our first couple of rehearsals on it, trying out just vastly different ideas, all sorts of different directions. Like for me, it was like, how do I make the guitar part work? Like not the lead part, but the rhythm guitar. At first, I was just kind of playing around with that guitar part on the bass, and it sounded cool, but that's not me, that's not my voice. So it was about making, Greenwood's part meet my style, And like, how does that happen? How do you make it work? So I was trying a bunch of different things out. And eventually it was, it came up to be like this kind of like fast, slappy part, which kept the harmonic structure of it, but also added some cool rhythmic stuff to it, which is something that I do a lot. And, Gabe had to figure out how is he gonna, do all the different voices that Tom York does. And Tom York has so many cool layers in that piece.
Tom York, his way he sings is an influence on how I play anyway, and so to take that and be able to just like express it. At the first I was doing it really Indian and really, but I felt like to save that for a little bit. And so it's more just kind of spacey the way I do, with a little bit of like the Indian slides and stuff. But at first I was doing it really like very overtly Indian ornaments, and it didn't sound as cool. So when the riff comes in, I do that in like the South Indian style, that we save it for that part. I think that's cool.
And Jeff had to figure out, like the woodblock part.
Basically wanted to try and cover at least some of the original drums from the original song. So I tried to come up with a way to play the percussion part while playing the drum part.
Sort of almost like a clave sort of thing.
An extra pedal with like a woodblock kind of thing, plastic block.
He spent a lot of time figuring out how to play that part with the woodblock going. That's such an integral part of the song.
And that was a challenge. It took a lot of work, and it was like baby steps, and eventually got it kind of comfortable.
That woodblock part is such a cool part of the song, so Jeff did a really good job making sure that was present in it. You know, there are certain things that we wanted to preserve of the song, you know, aside from obviously the melody and, you know, some of the basic parts.
And literally from that point on, it became super, it just wrote itself from that on.
The whole concept has been to make it feel like one of our songs. It's, you know, we've arranged it in a lot of unique ways that are characteristics of our band, we think. So playing the song, it is a cover, but there's enough about it that it feels kind of, you know, it still feels like an original thing to us. There's originality to it.
It's really fun to play. It's not as challenging in some ways playing-wise, but the amount of like pedal shit that I wrote for myself to do into the song, and the amount of stuff that John is doing and Jeff is doing with his feet, and like John is covering like rhythm guitar and bass lines and stuff like that. And I think I used 13 pedals in this song to get it across and stuff, and so it's fun. It's a challenge. You can't coast for like more than like 3 seconds without having to do something in it, so it's a fun challenge.
But when we got to the point where we're like, all right, let's give this a shot live, you know, it was about a week before. That's normally how we do it.
Since we've been playing it, I think we've played it every show or almost every show.
We've gotten a ton of great feedback.
Yeah, they like it. You know, that it's apparently crazy stuff in Odd Time Signatures. They have hard times talking about like this part where you're doing that crazy thing. It's, you know, but they can be like Paranoid Android sounded awesome. You know, so it's cool. It's getting its point across.
Everyone who knows the song flips out over it, but even people who don't, actually, believe it or not, there are some people who don't know that song.
Most people seem to know what it is, and people that don't know what it is think it's a cool one of our songs, because it sounds enough like one of our songs, you know?
They think it's a new song, and that's the cool thing about it, is that for our fans who know us, they're just assuming that it's a song that we wrote.
It has the drum and bassy stuff, it has the ethnic stuff, it has the classical stuff and the psychedelic soloing thing.
Getting really loud, getting really soft, and things like that. That's kind of how we think anyway.
So if they don't know it, that it's a cover, they think it's a new song. And the people that know it really like it.
It's become the kind of thing where people have come to see us that have seen us before, and it's like a song that they want to hear.
For a lot of people, it's very seamless.
Steven, one of the engineers here, I met just a few weeks ago. He had a studio, and they were looking for bands to do recordings. It's a new spot that they're trying to get some more clients for. So they were looking for bands to come in and record one song and put together a compilation to kind of showcase their recording capabilities.
We didn't want to do a song we'd already done. We didn't want to do a song we're going to do for the next album. We wanted to save those, you know, so it kind of seemed perfect, you know. We've never done a video of us playing in the studio. We all get to do cool stuff in this song, and it's kind of like a good introduction to our sound, you know, so if this gets some people to come check out, you know, the original stuff that we do, that's awesome.